Hey guys, so today I am back with another story time. I know it's taken me a while to post a new story time and you guys have been asking for it and I'm so sorry, but I've just been waiting for the perfect story time to tell and it finally happened. I finally got one. I was thinking of like other stories that I could tell you guys, but none of them were like that good or that crazy. And then this just happened out of the blue in quarantine and it was truly a gift from the gods. And I wasn't sure when exactly I was gonna tell it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna wait a long time and then tell the story, or if I was just gonna right after it happened, sit down and tell you guys, which is kind of where I'm at right now. It only happened like, I would say less than a month ago about. I left my hair kind of wavy today. Like I didn't straighten it and I don't know if I like it. I'll probably end up hating it, but that's not the point. If you read the title, it is true. It is not clickbait. It's not. I wish it was. I really wish it was because this kind of stuff only happens to me. Literally, I can't even make this stuff up at this point. It's just my luck. So I guess we're gonna tell the story of how I was catfished on Tinder. We'll start off this story by stating the fact that I was very against Tinder. I didn't want to use it. I didn't like using it. I never had it. I had it like my freshman year of college and that was it. Never used it again. Wasn't the biggest fan of it, you know, the whole nine. But with quarantine going on, everyone is bored, stuck in the house, lonely. And I thought, you know what, let me just re-download it for fun. It'll be funny to see everyone back home from college on the app and everything like that. But Tinder did this thing where you were able to change your location to anywhere in the world. Since you can't really travel, they decided to let you change your location if you wanted to for free, and they called it like Tinder Passport or something like that. So I decided to do that and I put it to Los Angeles because I was like, oh my god, I would love to like meet someone over there. Whatever. I don't even know like how to begin this whole entire situation because it's just mind-boggling to me that something like this would happen to me. But I matched with this kid and we'll call him, because of course I don't want to use his real name or anything like that. We'll call him, I always suck at picking names. Who do I like not know personally with a name? John. John is very basic, right? John's basic. Me and John began talking on the app and he seems like a really, really nice kid. He goes to, I don't know if it's an Ivy League. I think of it as an Ivy League. He goes to like an Ivy League school, is studying to be some type of heart something, really smart kid, like amazing. And first things first, I think there's no way this is real. Like there's no way that I just matched with a kid that goes to this Ivy League school that is studying, that is like going to med school to be this like heart doctor on Tinder. There's no way that I just met someone like that on Tinder. There's no way. So me and this kid start talking and super sweet, like watched my videos, like told me all these really nice things about like from watching my videos and stuff like that. After talking for a couple days on the app, he's like, oh, text me, and I was like, sure, okay. I don't really go on the app often to like check things, so I thought, okay, I'll just text this kid. He seems really, really nice anyway, so why not? So as we started texting, I was like, listen, I'm gonna sound crazy, but is there any way that you could send me a picture of you with a spoon, like a selfie holding a spoon, so that I know that you're real, you know? Like I wanted to have that 100% certainty that the person that I was texting was really the person that I saw on Tinder, which I think is a pretty common thing to ask. And it was somewhat of a joke, somewhat not. I was kind of serious, being like, can you send me the selfie with a spoon? And if you've never heard that before, it's kind of a thing that people use as a joke to make sure someone's not catfishing them, because obviously no one's gonna have a picture of someone holding a spoon. Like you wouldn't have the picture of the person that you're using like as the profile, like as the catfish, holding a spoon. You just wouldn't. So that's not what people ask. Normally people say like with a fork, with a spoon, just a random item. And he basically responded and was like, I'm not sending you a picture with a spoon, but we can FaceTime whenever. And at first I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna FaceTime a random person like 3 days after texting them. That's just, to me, is a little odd. I don't know you at all. So I was like, okay, like, sure, we can FaceTime in a couple days. So I want to say like 3 or 4 days pass and we're texting all day, every single day. And I'm like, okay, I can FaceTime this kid. Like, he seems really nice, really sweet, normal. Why not FaceTime him? But one red flag that he had said was that he didn't have, the reason like I wanted the picture with the spoon or whatever is because he didn't have social media. He had no Instagram due to his ex-girlfriend like deleting it or something. So that was like the main red flag. And he had a Snapchat but never really posted on it. His Snap score was really low, which I thought was kind of weird, because if you use Snapchat all the time, like your Snap score is normally pretty high, but his was really, really, really low, which means he barely uses Snapchat, never really posted stories on it. I Snapchatted him, I think 3 times, and he left it open every single time, never Snapchatted me back. So yeah, I wanted a picture with a spoon. Surprise, it's me editing. So there was one main thing that I forgot to mention when I was filming. The other major reason I was kind of skeptical was because when he added me on Snapchat, it was like his first underscore last name. So I decided to Google him to see if I can like find a Facebook or like any other form of social media or anything. And I could not find anything. Like, there was zero trace of this kid anywhere with the name that he had given me. And later on down the line, that's how I felt. Like, I found out that the Snapchat was his first underscore last name. So I had Googled and nothing, like absolutely nothing, which normally if you Google someone, something comes up. So I really thought that something was weird. We finally set up a time to FaceTime, and I go to call him that night because he told me like around like 9 or something like that. So I go to FaceTime him and he doesn't answer. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, why? I don't know, like I thought I had a spam. He texts me back and says that he's playing Monopoly with his family. And I was like, okay, like just call me when you're done, I guess. And he was like, okay, I'll be done in like 30 minutes goes by and he still doesn't call. And then a little bit after, he normal calls me, like not FaceTime, but like phone calls me. And I answer and I'm like, hey, like what's up? Why didn't you like FaceTime me? And he claimed that his hair was a disaster because he hadn't gotten his hair done because of like quarantine, and he just was too embarrassed to FaceTime me and because of his hair. And I was like, I really don't care what your hair looks like. Like, I do not care at all. Like I do not care what your hair looks like. Do you see what my hair looks like right now? I just like want to see the face to make sure that you're the same, that like you're the right person. So we end up staying on the phone though, even though it wasn't on FaceTime. We end up staying on the phone for 3 hours. 3 hours. And during those 3 hours, we spoke about so many different things, different like travels that he's been on, vacations, about his friends, everything. And he sent me a bunch of pictures from different stories. So he was telling me like stories about this wedding that he went to and sent me pictures. He was telling me about some of his different friends and he was sending me pictures. So now I had a bunch of pictures of this kid and they all were the same kid. They all were the same person from Tinder. So of course I thought, okay, this seems more real because now I have I've seen the kid a bunch of times and it is the same person. So you'd think that it would be him, right? You would think it would be him, because then the other route that you could go with it is he just sent me a bunch of pictures of a random human being that I don't know who it is, that's not John in those pictures. I don't know who it is. And that scenario just freaks me out to my core. So after the 3 hours, we ended the call with basically him saying tomorrow 3 p.m. I think my time, so 1 p.m. his time, something like that, we will FaceTime. And I said, okay, deal, no problem, like, deal. So next day comes around and it's like 1 p.m. like I was saying, or 3 p.m. my time, whatever, it doesn't matter. That time comes around, I'm like, hello, like, are we gonna FaceTime? And he was like, I'm so hungover, I can't. Sorry. He claimed that he was so hungover because the night before he had been drinking and he was just so hungover. He ends up falling back asleep till about 5 p.m. my time. And I don't mention anything about the FaceTime at first. We're just having a normal conversation. And then around 9 p.m. I was like, okay, so when do you want to reschedule this like FaceTime situation? Because at this point, it wasn't about like FaceTiming him to talk to him. It was about FaceTiming him just to see that like the person that I'm texting is the right person. I wasn't asking to FaceTime to sit there and talk to him for hours. I was honestly just asking to FaceTime to see a face, like to like be able to know that it's him. I don't know exactly what time it was his time in comparison to my time, but bottom line is it was pretty early, and I was like, hey, so like when are we gonna FaceTime? And he claimed that since he was so hungover all day, he really just wanted to sleep, so he took NyQuil and was about to knock out and couldn't FaceTime tonight. But then after, we continued texting all night, so he didn't go to sleep early or anything from the NyQuil. I don't even think he probably took NyQuil, but we texted literally till 1 a.m. whatever, so he didn't go to sleep early. As we were texting, he was like, okay, 1 p.m. tomorrow, we are FaceTiming. And I said, listen, I'm gonna be really honest with you. If we don't FaceTime tomorrow, like I'm over it, because at this point there was excuse after excuse after excuse. It was Monopoly, then it was hair, then it was hungover, then it was NyQuil. Like I was over the excuses. So I was like, if it's not 1 p.m. tomorrow, just like I'm over it. The next day rolls around and he mentions how in the morning his mom asked him to go to the grocery store, so he was up super early or something like that. And I call at 1 and he doesn't answer, claims that he was driving home from the grocery store or driving home from some store and that he would call me when he gets home in like 30 minutes. I waited the 30 minutes to even respond to the text to like give him the chance just to call me in 30 minutes. And then at 30 minutes I texted him, was just like KK, which I never say KK, so I was just like over it at that point. After that, after I said KK, I had not heard from him for days. Like days, had not heard one word, had not heard anything from him, and I was just like, okay. Like then I was just sick, like thinking, who was I talking to? Who was in the pictures that this person sent me? That was the one thing that I kept thinking, is who was in those photos? Who is that? After the 3 days, I'm holding my phone now because I'm looking at it. After the 3 days, that was on April 18th, and on April 20th, he was like, hey, I know you're probably really weird about things right now, but he basically said that he had to take care of a bunch of things, and he didn't text me because he knew I wanted to FaceTime and not text, blah, blah, blah. He said, I don't want you to think I'm ghosting you, which I did not think I was being ghosted. I thought I was being catfished, okay? Completely two different things. He basically said, if you want to FaceTime anytime tomorrow, I'll answer. If you don't, then I won't bother you anymore. I totally get it. Etc, etc. I didn't answer till the next day and I called. I didn't say anything. I didn't text him before I called. I didn't say I was calling. I just FaceTimed because I thought, you know what, if this person's real, they're gonna answer, and if they're not real, they're not gonna answer. Like that was just how I thought about it at that point. So I texted on April the next day at 9 p.m. and I said, hey, so I called. I gave what you were saying a shot. I cannot continue texting someone that I've never seen. I'm sorry that I can't just take your word and trust you say. I'm sorry that I can't just take your word and trust that you are who you say you are. If you want to FaceTime me back, please go ahead, but I'm not going to continue talking to someone that I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong. He then answered the next day and was like, I completely understand. What time will you be free today? I said, I am literally free whenever, I don't care. So at 3 p.m. he claimed he was finishing a paper for school, and then at 8:30 p.m. he claimed that he had 4 more pages left. That's the last time I ever heard from him, ever. That's literally it. Like there's nothing else there. That was the last time I had ever heard from the kid. And no, I don't think of it as ghosting because we weren't like dating. But I do think of it as catfished because I don't know if this kid is who he says he is. I don't know if the person in the photos was really him, and in my opinion, if the person is who they said they were, they would have answered a FaceTime. Like what is so bad about a FaceTime or sending me a selfie with a random object? If someone were to ask me that, if someone was like, send me a selfie with a spoon, I'd be like, you're funny, but I would still do it to show them that it's me. Like I just don't understand why he couldn't have answered a FaceTime or sent me a photo if it was really him, which really makes me think that it wasn't him. And it's just really weird and crazy to think who is in those pictures that he sent me, like all of the photos. I would say there's probably like 10 to 15 photos, which is just, and I know every single time I would tell my friends the situation, they'd be like, people do this every day. Like people catfish people every single day. This is a normal thing, but I just can't imagine someone doing that. It just is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. I don't know if I was really catfished. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think what really needs to happen here is Neve, if you're watching this, Neve, MTV Catfished, call me, because I would love to get to the bottom of it. I would love to know what's going on here. Am I being punked? Am I being pranked? Am I being catfished? I don't know, but you know who would know?
Neve.
So, Neve, give me a call, please. I don't know if Catfished is being filmed during quarantine, but when quarantine is over, I am down. But like I said, if you guys think that I was being catfished, if you guys don't think I was being catfished, let me know in the comments down below. If this has ever happened to you, if something like this has ever happened to you, then also comment down below. I'm over Tinder again. Like, I'm over it. It's very weird to me and very different, and I definitely don't think I'm gonna meet my person on the app or anything like that. If I could give anyone advice, it would be to make sure you're talking to the person you're talking to. I have seen some episodes of Catfished, and it blows my mind that some of these girls and guys talk to someone on the internet for years and never see them, like never FaceTime, never anything, are constantly getting excuses as to why they can't FaceTime or see them in person for years. And I couldn't even do it for like 3 weeks. I don't know how people deal with the excuses over and over and over for weeks. And something that is my biggest pet peeve.
Fun fact.
My biggest pet peeve is broken promises. So when someone says they're gonna do something and then doesn't follow through with it. For example, saying, I'm gonna FaceTime you tomorrow, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, anything like that, but then they don't follow through is one of my biggest pet peeves. It just irks me to my core. So that's why this was just really annoying to me, because every single day they would say, I'm gonna FaceTime you tomorrow, I'm gonna FaceTime you tomorrow, and then didn't. Just tell me you're not going to. Don't tell me you're going to, and then don't. It doesn't make sense to me. And if the person that I'm talking about is watching this video, really awkward, but hi, I'm not saying this I'm not telling this story in any sort of malicious way. I'm not coming at you in any way. I have no hard feelings, truthfully, but this is a really good story. It is a really good story that I had to tell, and I obviously don't know if you're real or not. All of my viewers have been waiting for a story time, and this just fell into my lap. So how could I not? How could I not? I do have 2 other story times that I'm planning on filming pretty soon. One, I have to film in a couple weeks. Like, I have to film more later down the line for a lot of different reasons. The 2 that I'm thinking of doing are probably the 2 craziest story times that I will ever post on this channel. So just give me a little bit of time to process it up here before I post it. But if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I'm making sure that I got all of the info. I think I did. I'm sometimes really bad at putting all of my thoughts together and then making the video. I'm like, did I forget anything? Because normally I do forget a lot of stuff. But if while I'm editing this, I remember a piece of information, you know that I will pop in while I'm editing and tell you guys what I missed. If you have not yet, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss anything. I am posting a bunch while we're all stuck in the house, so you guys have things to watch while we have nothing else to do. Like always, make sure to comment down below some of the crazy things that have happened to you, if something like this has ever happened to you, or if you've been catfished. And I just hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy. I think that's it though. I think that's the full story. Never thought. I mean, I guess I could have guessed that I would have a ghosted, so I also do have a ghosted story time if anyone wants to see that. I was gonna say, I guess I could have guessed that I would have a catfish story time eventually in my life. Makes sense. honestly. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you super soon with a brand new video. Bye.